Beneath the forests of Washington lies Mel's Hole, a baffling pit where objects seem to vanish without a trace. For years, it was merely considered a myth, but a shocking drone discovery raised new questions about its depth, purpose, and why the government took an interest. Join us at Eagle Discovery as we delve into this unsolved mystery. Unveiling the mystery of Mel's Hole. Nestled in the rugged terrain of Manastash Ridge near Ellensburg, Washington, a perplexing enigma has puzzled both locals and researchers for decades. The area, known for its steep cliffs and thick woods, has always intrigued many, but it's the strange hole on the property once owned by Mel Waters that has attracted the most attention. Initially regarded as a dumping site for unwanted items like old furniture and appliances, this hole seemed ordinary at first. However, despite the constant addition of debris, the hole never filled up. This strange phenomenon led to an unsettling realization. It didn't behave like a typical pit. No matter how much was discarded, no sound of impact could be heard, and no objects seemed to hit the bottom. It was as though everything that entered the hole vanished into thin air, as if swallowed by an unfathomable force. The hole, which appeared to have been there for generations, remained unchanged, adding to the growing mystery. What started as an oddity quickly became an increasingly disturbing mystery, raising more questions with each passing year. Unusual reactions from animals and technology. As time passed, even the animals in the vicinity seemed to recognize the anomaly. Mel's dogs, normally playful and brave, started acting strangely near the hole, freezing in place, their bodies tense with fear, refusing to come closer. Birds also avoided the area, often changing their flight path to steer clear of it. Yet the most peculiar phenomena were observed with the technology near the hole. Radios tuned to frequencies nearby began emitting strange static, making them unusable. This unusual interference fueled growing speculation that the hole was not a natural occurrence. Was it a geological anomaly, a government experiment, or something more inexplicable that defied scientific understanding? The mystery surrounding the hole only grew as more people became curious. To investigate further, a drone was sent to explore its depths. The footage captured by the drone was far more disturbing than anyone had expected, raising more questions and igniting even more interest. What did the drone reveal? What secrets lie deep within the hole? And are we ready to face the unknown? Theories about Mel's Hole. The fascination with Mel's Hole quickly turned into a frenzy of theories. People began to speculate about the true nature of the hole, offering a wide range of ideas. Some suggested it could be a natural sinkhole, formed by years of erosion, while others speculated that it was the result of a secret military experiment gone wrong. More fantastical theories emerged, involving time portals, extraterrestrial technology, or even an entrance to another dimension. As further investigations and experiments were conducted, some theorists began to suggest that the hole might not just be deep, but could potentially warp time or space itself. Theories continued to grow more outlandish, but there was one consistent belief: Mel's Hole was no ordinary pit. In 2017, a group of researchers attempted to lower a camera into the abyss, only to abandon the mission in fear. They reported feeling overwhelming dread and terror, claiming they saw something so terrifying that they fled the scene immediately. Their cryptic reports only fueled further speculation, with people eager to know what they had uncovered. What could be hidden within the depths of the hole? Could it be something beyond our comprehension? The physical nature of Mel's Hole. The physical characteristics of Mel's Hole are just as perplexing as its behavior. The hole is roughly circular, about 3 meters in diameter, and surrounded by a stone wall that extends about 4.5 meters deep into the ground. Beyond that, nothing but darkness lies within. Mel and his wife, along with their neighbors, used it as a dumping site for unwanted objects. Yet, no matter how much debris was thrown in, there was no noise, no echo, and no sign of a bottom. Intrigued, Mel decided to investigate further. As an experienced fisherman, he attached a weight to his fishing line and lowered it into the hole, watching as the line disappeared beyond the 1-meter mark, much further than the length of his reel, without any sign of it hitting the bottom. When he pulled the weight back up, it was completely dry, ruling out the possibility of water. Mel repeated this experiment using small metal objects, hoping they would touch the bottom, But they, too, returned dry. It seemed as though the hole defied all known physical principles. The deeper Mel explored, the greater the mystery became. The curious behavior of animals. Not long after Mel began his experiments, he noticed something even more alarming. His dogs reacted as though they sensed an ominous force coming from the hole. Whenever he tried to bring them closer, they resisted with such force, digging their paws into the ground as if trying to escape an invisible threat. Even more unsettling, they would whimper and growl, acting in ways that suggested they were aware of something no human could detect. It was as if the hole had a sinister aura, one that only the animals could sense. Despite all his attempts, Mel never reached the bottom of the hole, and each failed experiment led him to believe that something extraordinary, and possibly dangerous, lurked within. The mystery surrounding Mel's hole only grew as whispers continued to spread over time. As the years went by, the legend of Mel's hole only gained momentum, attracting more curious visitors, researchers, and thrill seekers. What could this endless void truly be? Is it a natural formation, a failed experiment, or something much more terrifying? The answers remain concealed deep within the darkness of the hole, waiting to be uncovered, or perhaps forever beyond our understanding. Unexplained phenomena and animal responses. Mel wasn't the only one noticing strange occurrences around the enigmatic hole. After discussing the site with his neighbors, a disturbing pattern began to emerge. There was an unusual, unexplainable atmosphere that seemed to affect the local wildlife. The first sign of this was the complete absence of animals in the immediate vicinity of the hole. Normally, the area would be bustling with life. Squirrels darting through the trees, insects buzzing, and deer wandering through the woods. But there was nothing. The only animals that came near the pit were a few birds, and even they appeared hesitant, flying in erratic patterns but never approaching too closely. Curious, Mel asked his neighbors if their dogs acted similarly when near the hole. To his surprise, every neighbor confirmed that their dogs, without exception, exhibited signs of fear and unease when near the site. The dogs would freeze, their bodies tense, as if they were sensing something beyond their owner's comprehension. It was as though an invisible force kept them at bay. This shared experience among the animals only deepened the mystery, leading Mel to believe that something in the hole might be emitting negative energy or a magnetic field, influencing both animals and humans alike. As Mel's investigation progressed, he began to wonder if there was something far more sinister at play, something beyond reason and logic. Although no one had an explanation for these strange happenings, the more he looked into it, the stranger the stories became. A disturbing encounter with a deceased dog. While investigating the hole further, one of Mel's neighbors shared a particularly chilling story that would shake his understanding of the hole to its core. The neighbor recounted how their dog had passed away some time ago, but shortly after, something disturbing happened. One afternoon, while walking through the woods near the hole, the neighbor saw a dog running through the trees. To their shock, the dog looked exactly like their deceased pet, even wearing the same collar. Upon calling the dog, expecting it to respond, the neighbor was horrified to see that it didn't react at all. The dog simply continued running, oblivious to its owner. What made this encounter even more unsettling was that the dog seemed to have no memory of its past life, as if it was unaware of its previous owner or its own death. This eerie event sparked a whirlwind of theories among the local community. Some thought it was a simple coincidence, a case of nature mimicking the deceased pet. Others entertained the possibility that the hole was responsible for some form of time distortion or even an unnatural resurrection. Could the hole cause such phenomena, creating a physical manifestation of the dog without its original identity? Theories ranged from the supernatural to scientific, but no one could offer a definitive answer. That Mel's growing obsession. Despite the increasing number of strange and unsettling reports surrounding the hole, Mel found himself more intrigued than ever. The bizarre stories and unexplained phenomena were impossible to ignore, and he couldn't shake the feeling that there was a connection between them all. Though he had attempted numerous experiments, each one only added to his confusion, leaving him with more questions than answers. The hole had become an obsession, one that seemed to resist any logical explanation. At this point, Mel found himself at a crossroads. The mystery was too complicated and dangerous for him to handle alone, yet his curiosity pushed him to seek further answers. He had heard of others who had experienced similar strange occurrences and had shared their stories. And it became clear that he needed help to unravel the enigma of the hole. It wasn't until Mel decided to share his findings with a wider audience that the full extent of the mystery began to unfold. Coast to Coast AM and worldwide attention. Since its debut in 1997, Coast to Coast AM, hosted by Art Bell, had become a go-to program for discussing paranormal events and unsolved mysteries. The show's vast audience, spanning the globe, included people experienced in dealing with strange phenomena, and Mel knew that if anyone could help him make sense of his experience, it was Art Bell and his listeners. On February 21st, 1997, Mel reached out to Coast AM, sending a detailed account of his bizarre experiences with the hole. His message included the odd behavior of the animals, his failed attempts to explore the depths with fishing lines, and the lack of any feedback or sounds when he threw objects into the hole. He described how he had lowered a fishing line more than 15 miles into the abyss without hearing a single echo or feeling any resistance. He even threw larger items, such as an old refrigerator, into the hole, but each time, there was nothing. No sounds, no reaction, just silence. Mel's detailed account captivated Art Bell's audience, many of whom had studied similar phenomena. The attention from Coast to Coast AM brought Mel's discovery to the forefront, attracting researchers, scientists, and paranormal enthusiasts from all over the world. With the newfound exposure came promises of further investigation, as people from different backgrounds began to form their own theories and attempt to unlock the mystery of Mel's hole. Global interest in the hole grew, and the flood of theories and ideas intensified. Some listeners believed it was a rare geological phenomenon, while others speculated that it might have extraterrestrial connections or be the result of a secret government experiment. Regardless of the theory, one thing was clear: Mel's hole had captured the public's imagination, and the search for answers was just beginning. Military intervention and government presence. After Art reached out to Mel, the story of Mel's hole rapidly spread across the globe. As a result, Mel was invited to share more details on numerous platforms. This newfound attention brought both positive and unforeseen challenges. People from all over the world began offering suggestions, like using radar or laser technology to measure the hole's depth, ideas Mel had never previously considered. However, with the growing spotlight came unexpected consequences. As millions learned about the hole, the curiosity surrounding it only deepened. During his radio appearances, Mel inadvertently provided hints about the hole's location, leading to unexpected consequences. The day after his first broadcast, Mel returned to his property to find that access had been blocked off. He claimed that military personnel were present, and there was a noticeable increase in helicopter activity above the site. Mel alleged that the hole seemed to affect its surroundings, with animals avoiding the area while plants thrived nearby. He also reported strange occurrences with radios, often emitting static or picking up unusual signals. On one occasion, Mel's radio played music from a bygone era. When he tried to change the station, he supposedly tuned into a baseball game. Initially thinking it was a standard broadcast, Mel was taken aback when he realized it seemed to be a replay of a game from 1967. Military presence and Mel's disappearance. The mystery surrounding the hole deepened as Mel's newfound fame came with unexpected consequences. Not only did the public take interest, but Mel soon discovered that his growing popularity attracted the attention of more than just ordinary people. Before revealing the full extent of the situation, let's revisit the night of the call between Art and Mel. The conversation lasted for about an hour, with Mel sharing his theories and beliefs regarding the hole. After the call, Mel returned home, only to find a blockade set up by uniformed personnel. He also noticed large equipment being transported nearby. When he inquired about the situation, he was told it was a response to a reported airplane crash on his property. This explanation made no sense, as there were no signs of fire, smoke, or any reports of an actual crash. The end of Mel's story. Although Mel was the one to initially share the story of the hole, he found himself denied access to his own property, while an investigation into the supposed crash took place. Every time Mel tried to speak with someone in charge, a man in civilian clothing would approach and subtly suggest that legal issues might arise regarding his land, pressuring him to leave for good. The man implied that there could be severe legal consequences if Mel refused. Frustrated, Mel threatened to go to the press and share his story. The man, seemingly uninterested, responded indifferently, claiming that no one would believe him. What he failed to realize was that Art Bell and his audience were already aware of the situation, as Mel had previously shared his experience on the radio. A few days later, Mel received a call from Art, seeking an update on the situation. During this call, Mel revealed even more unsettling details, claiming that a neighbor had witnessed a dark lightning bolt emerging from the hole and stretching through the clouds. However, it's worth noting that Mel himself did not witness this event firsthand. After disappearing for 12 days, Mel reappeared in San Francisco with missing teeth and strange markings on his arm. Further investigations uncovered 2 bottomless pits, alongside a series of strange occurrences that left more questions than answers. What do you think is really happening with these holes? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe. Your support means a lot. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.